Dark smoke curled into the gray sky as the air trembled with distant explosions. Forests burned where once there was peace. Birds had stopped singing. The ground was shaking, not from war machines or ships, but from something much older and deadlier. Something alive. Captain Rowan James crouched behind a rock, his rifle steady, his breath silent. His suit's sensors were picking up movement from the ridge ahead. The mission had been clear. Survey the outer zone, confirm the alien outpost was abandoned. Instead, what he found was a battlefield with no human soldiers left, only him, and the thing coming down the hill. Branches cracked and heavy footfalls thudded against the scorched earth. Then he saw it. A beast, at least 10 feet tall, covered in thick, dark blue armor-like hide, with tusks curling from a narrow jaw. It wasn't charging, though. It was being ridden. On its back sat a girl, not a child. Not fully grown either, but clearly alien. Her eyes were silver with slits, glowing faintly even in daylight. Long white tendrils flowed like hair down her back, and her armor shimmered like bone. Her legs gripped the beast tightly, one hand on its reins, the other holding a spear that sparked with plasma. She glared down at the lone human. "You shall not pass, human," she growled. Rowan's finger tightened on the trigger, but he didn't shoot. She didn't attack. Not yet. He slowly stood from his cover, raising his free hand. "I'm not here to fight," he said, voice calm. "I'm just scouting, alone." The beast roared, shaking its head. But the girl held it firm. Her eyes narrowed. "Alone, lies. Your kind never comes alone." Rowan lowered his weapon. "I lost my squad." The girl blinked. Her mouth twitched slightly. Not a smile, maybe confusion. "Maybe something else. Leave," she ordered. "You step further, you die." He took a slow breath. "What is this place? Why are you defending it?" She tilted her head. "It is sacred. Yours already destroyed many of our lands. This one we fight for." Rowan scanned the area. He noticed large stone pillars half buried, glowing faintly. Strange markings carved into them pulsed like veins. Not just alien art. Technology. Old technology. "You're guarding something," he said. "Something your people think will take." She said nothing. The beast stomped its foot. The ground cracked under its weight. Rowan noticed now that the girl's armor looked handcrafted. She wasn't a soldier. Not in the way humans train theirs. She was something different. "Do you even know what this tech does?" Rowan asked, trying to keep his tone careful. She bared her teeth. "It is not for you to know. It is not for you to take." "I'm not here to take," he said. "I'm here to survive." Silence. Then she gave a strange sound, something between a scoff and a sigh. She leaned slightly forward, tapping the side of the beast's neck. It growled, but didn't move. "You don't smell like the others," she said. Finally. "Is that good or bad?" "Not sure yet." Rowan didn't know how long he stood there, unmoving, watching her watch him. Something told him if he stepped forward again, she'd unleash the beast. Then, out of nowhere, a deep rumble echoed from behind him. Not from the forest, from the ridge. A second beast appeared, larger, wilder, riderless. It wasn't part of her group. It was charging, and it wasn't aiming for Rowan. It was aiming for her. Rowan shouted, "Behind you." She spun, too late. The beast slammed into hers, and the two giants crashed to the ground in a blur of teeth, claws, and howls. Rowan dove. Aside as dust and shattered trees exploded into the air. He rolled behind a log, weapon up. The alien girl had been thrown off. Her spear was missing. The two beasts were locked in a brutal fight. She groaned and tried to get up, but a piece of broken branch had sliced her side. She was bleeding. Without thinking, Rowan ran forward, grabbed her under the arm, and pulled her away from the snarling monsters. She struggled, weakly. Why? Help me? She asked through clenched teeth. Because I'm not like the others, he muttered. He ducked as the ground shook again. The two beasts smashed into each other. One was badly wounded. The other, the riderless one, looked rabid. Rowan knew they'd both be dead if he didn't act. He aimed his rifle and fired 3 precise shots at the wild beast's exposed eye. It roared and turned on him. The riderless beast charged toward Rowan now, forgetting its first target. Rowan braced for impact. But just then, the girl whistled short, sharp, loud. Her beast responded, ramming the wild one from the side and crushing it into a rock with a sickening crunch. Rowan stared in disbelief. The battle was over. The girl slumped against him, breathing hard. You fight with the heart of our hunters, she said quietly. He didn't answer. Instead, he looked up at the ancient alien stone pulsing behind them. And for the first time, he wondered what war had they just stepped into, and what was worth dying for in this sacred land. The girl leaned heavily against Rowan as they moved through the thick, broken forest. Her steps were slow, her side bleeding from the sharp branch. Rowan kept an arm around her, supporting her weight while scanning their surroundings. The beast hers followed silently behind, injured but alert. It limped slightly, but its glowing yellow eyes stayed fixed on Rowan as if trying to decide if he was prey, ally, or something in between. Rowan led them toward a half-buried shelter, the remains of an old survey station left behind by a human team decades ago. Metal panels stuck out of the ground like bones. He slid open the heavy hatch and helped her inside. Once in, he laid her down carefully on a dusty bench. The lights inside the shelter flickered, powered by the weak solar cells still functioning after all this time. I need to treat your wound, Rowan said. I'll survive, she muttered. He grabbed an old medkit from a wall cabinet and ignored her glare. Maybe, but if that cut gets infected, survival becomes a lot harder. She winced as he cleaned the gash. Her alien blood was deep violet, sticky, and faintly glowing. She didn't scream, but her sharp claws dug into the bench with each wipe of the antiseptic. You don't even know me, she said. Why help? I don't have a reason not to, he answered. Besides, you just saved my life out there. We're even. Her silver eyes met his, but she didn't argue. What's your name? He asked, taping a gauze to her side. Kalara, she said. Hunter in training, of the Saren tribes. Rowan, he replied. Captain. Or I was. I don't think rank matters anymore. Not out here. She looked away, breathing slowly. Your kind destroyed much. I know, he said quietly. I've seen it myself. I didn't come here to do more damage. Then why are you here? He hesitated. Because we were told your people were hiding weapons in the ruins. Ancient tech that could turn the war. Kalara sat up, even though the pain twisted her face. We are not hiding weapons. We are protecting memory. The stones outside are what remain of our ancestors. They speak. They guide. If your soldiers take them, they die. Rowan narrowed his eyes. They speak? To us, she said. Not to you. Rowan had heard of it. Old reports. Alien structures that reacted only to native DNA. Unreadable to humans. But if the wrong team tried to force entry, sometimes the structures responded violently. Did my people try? He asked. Kalara nodded. They came with machines. They tried to scan. The stone turned red. Then, the ground opened. Swallowed them. No bones left. Rowan sat back. So the outpost wasn't abandoned. It was deadly. Suddenly, the beast outside growled low. Kalara stiffened. Rowan grabbed his rifle and rushed to the entrance. Through a small viewing slit, he saw movement in the trees. Metal. Fast. Human drones. Kalara appeared beside him. More of your kind, Rowan cursed. They'll be looking for me. Or the stones. Rowan knew what was coming next. If they saw the alien beast and Kaelara alive, they'd assume she was a threat. They'd shoot first, ask nothing. He turned to her. They'll kill you on sight. She looked calm. Let them try. No, Rowan said firmly. We can't fight them here. There's no cover. They hunt me because I protected what is mine. I will not run. Rowan grabbed her shoulder. You're wounded. That beast of yours is tired. You can't stop a squad of human drones on your own. Her expression softened. Just a little. What? Do you suggest human? He looked at the map on the wall. A red dot blinked, probably the drone's tracking ping. They had less than 2 minutes. There's an old tunnel, Rowan said. It leads down under the ruins. Your ancestors' place, it's down there, isn't it? She didn't answer right away. Then slowly she nodded. If we go down, maybe the drones won't find us, he said. And you can show me what you're protecting. Kaelara looked uncertain. You're still a stranger. But I saved your life too, Rowan reminded her. We're even, remember? Outside, the drones got closer. Leaves rustled. A red targeting beam scanned the forest, just missing the shelter entrance. Kaelara turned to her beast. It crouched low, silent, obedient. She whispered something in her language, and it followed. Together they entered the tunnel. Rowan pulled. The hatch shut behind them, sealing them in darkness. Only faint blue light pulsed along the walls now. The air was colder. Deeper. Kaelara led the way with slow steps. Rowan followed, rifle ready, heart racing. He wasn't sure if he had just escaped death or walked right into something far worse. Asterisk. The tunnel sloped downward, deeper and deeper beneath the surface. The walls were made of stone, but veins of glowing blue light ran through them like living roots. Rowan brushed his hand against one of them. It felt warm. Are these alive? He asked quietly. Kaelara walked ahead without turning. They are the skin of the ancestors. Their memory runs through this place. Do not disturb it, Rowan frowned. What happens if I do? She glanced over her shoulder. They remember pain, especially pain caused by humans. The beast followed silently behind them, its heavy steps echoing in the narrow space. Somehow, the tunnel seemed to recognize it. The light pulsed brighter as it walked past, like a heartbeat responding to its presence. But when Rowan moved, the glow dimmed. He noticed. They don't like me, he muttered. Kale single quotes Era paused. No, but they haven't attacked you either. That's strange. Rowan was used to being hated by aliens. His people had done too much damage over the last decade. First came diplomacy. Then came greed. After that fire and war, he never expected to walk peacefully in a sacred alien tunnel, especially with someone like her. They reached a large cavern after a long descent. Stone columns rose high into the ceiling, where glowing roots moved slowly like they were breathing. Strange floating objects hovered in mid-soft shapes that shimmered like bubbles. Kaelara raised a hand and they drifted aside to make space for her. Rowan was in awe. This is not just ruins, he whispered. It's alive. This is the memory hall, Kaelara said. Only the chosen may enter. Rowan hesitated. Then why bring me here? Because you could have killed me. You didn't. You could have run and left me behind. You didn't. And because the ancestors didn't reject you at the gate. She pointed to the ceiling. Rowan looked up and saw faint glowing shapes swirling slowly in the air. Some looked like stars, some like animals, and some like people. Suddenly, one of the floating lights shot down toward him. Rowan stepped back. Raising his weapon, Kaelara shouted, "Don't move!" The light hit his chest but didn't hurt. It passed through his body like fog. In his mind, something clicked. A flash of images, blurry memories not his own. Planets. Battles. A great beast standing over thousands. A woman crying. A gate breaking. Then the images were gone. He dropped to one knee, gasping. Kaelara ran to him. "You saw something?" He nodded, shaking. "I saw war. Long ago. And something worse. A gate. It broke. Something came through." Kaelara's face turned pale. "You saw the first memory. Only our elders can see that. No human ever has." "I didn't mean to." "You were chosen," she interrupted. "The memory accepts you. That is impossible." The beast behind them growled softly, not in warning. In confusion, Kaelara stood, her voice shaking. "The prophecy speaks of a time when the gate would break again, and a stranger, not of our blood, would see the memory and survive. That stranger would hold the key." Rowan looked at her. "Key? To what?" "To stopping the gate from opening again." Rowan stood slowly, wiping his face. "What is this gate? And what comes through it?" Kaelara didn't answer. Instead, she turned toward a sealed stone door behind the columns. "Come," she said. "You must see it." The door opened at her touch. Inside was a room smaller than the hall, but far colder. In the center stood a tall arch of smooth black metal, covered in carvings and symbols. It hummed faintly, as if sleeping. "That's the gate?" Rowan asked. She nodded. "It hasn't opened in hundreds of cycles, but the ground above is shaking. The stones say." "It stirs again?" Rowan stepped closer. "Why?" "Because your people mine too deep. They search for power, without care. They dig under ancient lands, wake things buried for a reason." Rowan stared at the symbols. "Why not destroy the gate?" Kaelara's voice dropped. "Because we do not know how. Even the ancestors feared it. They built it, or maybe they found it. No one is sure." Rowan felt cold now. "Then what happens if it opens again?" She looked at him. "Then all life here dies, yours and mine." Outside, a loud noise shook the tunnel. Dust fell from the ceiling. Rowan turned. "They found us." Kaelara ran to the entrance. "No, something else." Rowan followed her into the main hall again. The beast growled louder now, stepping protectively between them and the darkness. Walls glowed red. Not blue. Red. Kaelara gasped. "It's waking." Rowan raised his rifle. "What is?" "The gate," she whispered. "Something is trying to come through." The entire memory hall trembled as the glowing walls shifted from calm blue to angry red. The floating lights above twisted into sharp shapes like claws, teeth, and eyes. The beast let out a low snarl and stepped protectively in front of Kaelara. Rowan moved beside her, scanning the ceiling. "You said it takes centuries to wake the gate. Why now?" Kaelara placed her hand on the wall, whispering in her native tongue. The lights calmed for just a second before flaring red again. "It's not natural," she said. "Something is forcing it open. Someone on the surface must be digging too close to the core." Rowan felt a chill. "Then we have to stop them. If they don't know what they're waking, they will open the gate and what lies beyond will pour out." Kaelara turned to the beast. She gave it a sharp order, and it bolted down the tunnel, heading toward the surface. Rowan was surprised. "You're sending it away?" She looked at him. "To warn my people. They must prepare. If we fall, they will need to destroy the surface ruins. Burn everything." "Won't that collapse this place too?" "Yes," she said softly. "But better we fall than the whole world." Rowan stared at her. "That's your plan? Sacrifice everyone in here just to delay the gate?" "If the gate opens," she said, "there won't be a world left to save." For a moment, the red glow dimmed. The images above changed again. Rowan saw flashes of a black sky, burning cities, and twisted shadows crawling from the broken arch. The future. Not memory warning. Kalara gripped his wrist suddenly. The memory shows you more than it shows me. Why? I don't know. Rowan answered. I didn't ask for this. You were chosen. Rowan took a deep breath. If I'm chosen, then tell me what to do. Kalara stepped away, thinking. There may be one way to stop the gate without destroying everything. A ritual. But it must be done inside the chamber of threads deep below the gate, and it requires a connection. One from this world, and one from yours. Rowan frowned. A connection? 2 minds. 2 lives. Bound through truth. Through trust, he understood. You mean me and you. Kalara hesitated. If the ancestors accept us both, the gate will remain closed, but if we fail, it opens faster. Outside, another tremor hit. Stone cracked. The hum in the gate. Room grew louder. Rowan nodded. Let's try. She led him back to the small room with the tall black gate. From a side wall, she pressed a sequence of glowing symbols. A panel slid aside, revealing a steep stairway carved from obsidian lit by pulsing white lines. The air got colder. They descended together, step by step, their shadows long against the shimmering walls. The chamber of threads was silent. No movement, no sound. Just a wide circular room with a pool of still, silver liquid in the center. Floating. Above the pool were dozens of fine glowing strands, threads of light and energy. Suspended in the air like spider silk, Kalara stepped forward. Put your hand in the pool. Rowan followed. As his hand touched the surface, the silver water rippled without making a sound. Now speak your truth, she said. Something deep. Something real. He looked at her. Truth? Yes, that's how the threads choose. Rowan took a shaky breath. I was ordered to lie on this mission, told to say we came for peace. But the real plan was to map your sacred land and prepare it for takeover. My team knew it. I knew it, and I still came. Kalara's eyes burned, but she stayed silent. Rowan continued. But now, after what I've seen, what I've felt, I'd rather die protecting this place than help destroy it. The pool pulsed gently. She stepped forward and placed her hand beside his. I was taught humans were evil, that they crave only power, that they can't change. But today I saw one of you save a life he could have ended. She looked up at him. That changed everything. The glowing threads began to move. They drifted down slowly at first until 2 of them touched Rowan and Kalara's heads at the same time. In an instant, the chamber lit up. Memories rushed through there. Minds not just old ones, but each other's. Rowan saw her childhood in the forest, her first hunt, her fear of failure. Kalara saw his boot camp, his regrets, his nightmares. They were linked. The pool turned gold. And above, the trembling stopped. The gate had paused, but then, a scream, not human, not alien. Something else. From deep below the chamber, a voice echoed upward. Something ancient had noticed them, something that did not want the gate closed. The scream echoed through the chamber like a broken horn, twisting the air with a sound that didn't belong in this world. Rowan froze. It wasn't a voice, not exactly. It was like thousands of whispers trying to speak at once, layered and low. His skin crawled. Kalara gripped his arm, her knuckles pale. It felt us, she whispered. The golden pool between them began to ripple again, but not from their touch. Something stirred below it. Shadows slithered beneath the surface like ink spreading through. Water. The threads in the air began to dim. Rowan pulled his hand away. What is that? Kalara backed away slowly. The thing that waits beyond the gate. It doesn't want the connection to hold. It's trying to break us. He turned to her. But the ritual worked. The tremors stopped. The gate paused. Yes, she said, her eyes wide. But it's not sealed yet. The final part of the ritual must be done inside the archway room. That's where the bond must be burned into the stone. Rowan swallowed hard. And how long before that thing gets through? Kaylara looked at the pool one last time, then turned. Minutes. Maybe less. If it forces open even a crack, it can send part of itself through just enough to kill us both. They ran. The stairs back to the upper gate room were shaking again. The walls cracked in several places, and fine dust filled the air. The deeper they went, the more the ground seemed to resist them, like the tunnel was trying to swallow them whole. When they reached the archway room again, the black gate was glowing now not red or blue, but a sickening purple. Tendrils of smoke curled from its edges. Kaylara rushed to the platform near the center of the arch. She pulled free a crystal blade from a sealed panel and cut across her palm without hesitation. Blood dripped onto a carved stone plate beneath her feet. She looked at Rowan. You must do the same. Pain opens the bond. Rowan didn't argue. He grabbed the blade, sliced his palm, and let his blood fall onto the same plate. Their blood touched, and the carvings in the stone lit up gold, the same gold as the pool. But then, the gate howled. This time, it wasn't just a sound. A piece of the darkness pushed through the center of the arch like a long black claw made of smoke and ash. It dragged along the air like it was feeling for flesh. Rowan raised his rifle and fired instinctively. The energy bolt passed through it. No effect. Kaylara shouted, "It's not physical. You can't shoot it." The claw swung toward her, moving fast. Rowan lunged and tackled her to the ground just as it slashed through the space where her head had been. The stone beneath them cracked again. The entire gate pulsed. Kaylara looked up at the symbols. We need the last line of the ritual together. Do not let go of my hand. Rowan gripped her bleeding hand tight. Repeat after me, she said quickly, her voice shaking. Speak as I speak. Together they chanted the old words. The chamber responded. The carvings burned brighter. Gold light flowed into the gate, like chains wrapping around it. The black claw screamed again and withdrew, trying to flee, but the light chased it, forcing it back into the void. The gate slammed shut with a thundering boom that knocked them both off their feet. For a moment, nothing moved. The lights faded back to blue. The stone stopped trembling. Even the air felt lighter. Rowan sat up slowly, hands still bleeding. Kaylara was already standing, staring at the now quiet arch. It's done, she said softly. The bond is sealed. The gate cannot open again, not by force. He looked around. You're sure? Yes. And you? She looked at him, her silver eyes soft, almost grateful. You are no longer just human. You are part of the memory now. He stood up beside her. Then what now? Kaylara didn't answer right away. From the tunnel behind them, they heard fast footsteps. The beast returned, and behind it others. Her people. Dozens of alien warriors stepped into the gate chamber, spears and rifles drawn, eyes scanning the room. One of them stepped forward. An older female, eyes glowing bright silver. Kaylara, the elder said in a deep, strong voice. You survived. I did, she said proudly, because of him. All eyes turned to Rowan. Many of the warriors hissed. Some raised their weapons. He is the one the memory chose, Kaylara said firmly. He closed the gate with me. The elder stepped closer, looking Rowan over like he was a strange animal. You expect us to believe a human could do what our strongest warriors could not? He did, Kaylara said. Because he didn't come to take, he came to understand. The elder stared at Rowan for a long time. Then, finally, she nodded. Once. Then he will come with us, she said. The council must hear this. Rowan looked at Kaylara. Friend or prisoner? Kaelara's lips curled into the first true smile he'd seen. Maybe both. Rowan walked in silence, surrounded by a group of alien warriors. Their armor was carved bone, their eyes sharp with distrust. Even the beast, Kaelara's loyal companion, kept glancing back at him like it hadn't fully decided if he belonged. The tunnel to the surface had changed. It no longer trembled with danger, but it felt heavier, like the air itself remembered what had happened. They passed walls that still shimmered faintly gold from the ritual, and threads of light drifted lazily above their heads like fading stars. Kaelara walked beside Rowan, quiet for most of the journey. "You're not afraid?" she finally asked. "I am," Rowan admitted, "but not of your people. I'm afraid of what happens when my own command finds out I failed my mission." She looked at him, confused. "You saved the world. You didn't fail." "To them," he said bitterly. "I was supposed to scan your ruins, mark the weak points, report back. They didn't care what you were protecting, only what they could use." Kaelara's face darkened. "Then they are still a threat." "Yes," Rowan said. "And they won't stop unless something forces them to." They reached the surface. The trees above had grown silent again. Smoke still rose in the distance from the destroyed drone. But the sky no longer glowed red dot. Waiting at the forest edge were even more Saren tribes. Warriors, elders, young ones. The entire community had come. When Rowan stepped into view, a quiet wave of tension moved through the crowd. The elder from the gate chamber raised her voice. "Let the humans speak. Let us decide what is truth." Rowan stepped forward. Dozens of eyes locked onto him. Kaelara stood at his side, her presence the only reason no one aimed a spear at his chest. He took a breath. "My name is Rowan James. I came here as part of a scout team. We were told you were hiding alien weapons that could be used against Earth. We were ordered to find them no matter what." The warriors shifted uneasily. A few snarled. "But we were wrong," Rowan continued. "You weren't hiding weapons. You were guarding something ancient, something dangerous, a gate. And when my team came too close, it began to wake." The elder narrowed her eyes. "Why didn't your people listen to our warnings before?" "Because they don't see the universe the way you do," Rowan said. "They see it as something to conquer. But I've seen what lies beyond that gate. And I know if it opens again, we all die." A heavy silence fell. Then Kaelara stepped forward. The memory accepted him. "He saw what none of our people have ever seen. He bled beside me. He didn't run. He didn't betray." Another warrior spoke. "That still doesn't mean we trust him." "He risked his life for me," Kaelara said firmly. "And he helped seal the gate." The elder held up her hand. "Enough. Let the memory decide again." She walked to a standing stone at the center of the forest clearing. It pulsed faintly. The others stepped back. "Place your hand on the stone," she said to Rowan. He hesitated. "Will it hurt?" Kaelara gave him a soft smirk. "Only if you lie." Rowan placed his hand on the stone. The carvings lit up instantly. Warm gold spread from his palm across the stone. Symbols danced, spinning into a glowing spiral. The tribes watched silently. Then the stone spoke not in words, but in feeling, calm, truth, connection. The elder nodded slowly. "The memory accepts him." Murmurs spread through the crowd. Suspicion turned to confusion, and then to quiet understanding. Kaelara looked at Rowan. "You are no longer just human. You are bound to us now. Our fight is your fight." Rowan's chest felt heavy. "Then I need to go back to my people." Kaelara stiffened. "Why?" "To warn them. To stop them before they send more. Before they try to dig again. You'll be seen as a traitor. I already am." Kaelara looked down, silent for a moment. "Then I'm going with you." Rowan blinked. "What?" "If you face your leaders alone, they will silence you. But if I go with you, they will have no choice but to listen. You said they fear what they don't understand. Let them understand me." He almost laughed. "You threatened to kill me the first time we met." She smiled faintly. "You deserved it." The elder stepped forward. "If you go to the humans, you may not return." Kaelara met her eyes. "Then I will bring them truth or die trying." The elder slowly nodded. "Then go, but take the beast. And take the blade." She handed Kaelara the crystal weapon from the gate chamber. Rowan looked at her. "So we're riding into a human base? With a monster and a spear?" Kaelara mounted the beast and extended a hand toward him. "Yes," she said. "But this time you shall not pass alone." The human base was a metal scar in the middle of a green valley. Rows of armored fences, gun towers, and blinking sensors stood ready, designed to keep out any threat, human or alien. The guards inside had no idea what was coming toward them. They noticed when the ground began to shake. Two shapes moved across the valley field, fast and steady. A massive beast with horns curved like blades, and riding it, a silver-eyed alien girl. Beside her sat a human soldier, no longer wearing rank on his chest, only purpose in his eyes. Rowan and Kaelara. "Stop right there." The loudspeakers barked as drones hovered into the air. Weapons clicked into position. Energy shields snapped on. Rowan raised his hands. "Don't shoot. I'm Captain Rowan James. Identification code Delta 12. I need to speak to command now." A voice answered coldly. "Your mission is over, Captain. You've been marked AWOL and compromised. Lower your weapons and the alien surrenders." "She's not a prisoner," Rowan shouted. "She's my ally. And you're about to make a deadly mistake." The defense systems locked onto the beast. Lasers began warming. Kaelara whispered, "They're afraid." "They always are," Rowan said, eyes on the turrets. "Let me try one last thing." He stepped down from the beast and walked forward alone. The red dots from the turrets followed him. He stopped halfway between the base and Kaelara. Then he dropped his rifle and slowly opened his palm, revealing the cut-the-old wound from the ritual. It still glowed faintly gold. "She and I closed the gate," he shouted. "There's something ancient under this land, and if you keep drilling, you'll wake it. We stopped it, but only for now." There was silence from the loudspeakers. Rowan added, louder, "Don't take my word for it. Scan her. Scan me. Look at the energy signatures in our blood. Look at the readings from your own drones, if any survived the quake." Seconds passed. Then a new voice came over the speakers. When he recognized Colonel Vance, "Rowan," the voice said slowly, "you've always been loyal, but this is treason." Rowan clenched his fists. "No, sir. Treason would be knowing the truth and staying silent." Vance said nothing. Then the turret lights turned off. One of the gates opened. A group of soldiers came out, unarmed but cautious. The man leading them wore a high officer's coat. Colonel Vance himself. Rowan approached him with Kaelara at his side. Her beast stayed still, eyes watching everything. "I want answers," Vance said. "Now." So Rowan gave him everything. The sacred ruins, the gate, the memory hall, the visions, the ritual, the connection. At first, Vance said nothing. Then he turned to Kaelara. "Is it true?" She looked him straight in the eyes. "If you continue your digging, nothing will survive, not your world, not mine." One of the science officers stepped forward with a data pad. "Sir," he said nervously, "we picked up a power signature exactly where they described. And there's something else. Seismic activity around the gate. It matches no known geological pattern. It's like the planet itself was resisting us." Vance slowly lowered his head. For a long time no one spoke. Then he said, "I'll order a cease to all mining in the area." "The council won't be happy." Rowan raised an eyebrow. "You care more about the council than survival?" "I care about Earth," Vance said. "And now I see this isn't just about us anymore." He looked at Kaelara. "You rode into our base like a storm. Most aliens try to sneak in. You came with fire." Kaelara didn't blink. "We only ride like that when guarding something precious." Vance gave a slight nod. "Understood." 1 week later, an agreement was signed between humans and the Saren. The sacred ruins would remain untouched. Shared patrols would guard the old sites. The memory hall would stay sealed unless both sides agreed to open it again. Rowan sat near the edge of the forest, looking at the stone that once glowed gold. Kaelara sat beside him, the beast resting in the shade. "You still don't trust your people," she said. "I trust a few," he replied. "But that's how change begins." She reached out and touched his hand. The glow returned soft and golden. "Then we will change them together," she said. And for the first time, the earth was quiet, not because it feared what was coming, but because something worse had been. Stopped. Not by war. Not by power, but by two hands, one human, one alien joined in truth.